Now, we were so hopeful with Vechain's price action on the daily time frame, and well, things haven't been as fast moving as we needed them to be. In today's video, I am going to be taking a look at the technical analysis for Vechain, sharing my thoughts and opinions as to where I think the price action is heading next. As I get into today's video, smash the like button if you're new, subscribe, and let's take a look. So here we have a Vechain paired up with USDT. We're on the 1-day Binance chart. Now, the original hope was to see a bit of a break to the upside, targeting out 2.703 to 2.924, all at around that 200-day EMA. Unfortunately, the price action just hasn't been as aggressive as it needs to on the way to the upside. Many cryptocurrencies have run quite nicely, and here we're seeing a 16.36% move for Vechain. It's not the worst, but it's definitely not where it needed to be, in my opinion. Okay, so where we find this upper area of resistance, all around kind of 2.38 and 2.517. That seems to be very much the resistance line that's likely to hold here. Now, we do see the 50 EMA and the 50 SMA as well. So the daily 50 SMA is the yellow line coming through the chart. That's currently coming in at 2.325, and the 50 EMA, the blue line coming through the chart, that is coming in at 23.4. Right, so 2.343 cents. Now, these are also resistances. As we had seen previously with the W wave as marked here, this was a resistance line. We then saw the move to the downside, and we were hoping for this run towards the 200 EMA on the kind of build up towards the Federal Reserve interest rate cuts, which obviously are a bearish, historically a bearish sign. Unfortunately, it appears that that's very, very unlikely now. Okay, so it was a long shot, I guess, but we were hoping to see a kind of nested three-wave position. Instead, we're not. We have the three-wave going up, and we have a pretty nasty drop down into the 6th of September for Vechain's price action. This was a 26.54% move. We can see, obviously, upper resistance here. Now, from a retracement perspective, we can see that we're coming up to the 50% retracement levels. This is typically where you find B-wave structures getting resistance, and is also a nice coincidental area with where we were previously up in this area here. I'm going to go ahead and draw a nice thin layer on just to show you this upper area of resistance. This is essentially coming in at 2.138 to 2.270. And you can see here that this is really all around that kind of 50% level, the 618 level, and so forth. So this previous area was previously support. We consolidated on it, and now it's turning into resistance. There's a couple of wicks lower, of course. We have lower lows and lower highs here on the hourly time frame, another bearish sign as well. But unfortunately, yeah, from an Elliott wave theory perspective here, we are going to be dropping down deeper. And there is a few concerns when it comes to Vechain's price action as a consequence to this. Okay, so let's hypothetically say that we kind of rally up just a tad further. Maybe we head out towards kind of 2.352, and then we can see here the test of the lower side around 1.607 to 1.728. This is where I think we have to hold. If we can't hold this kind of level, specifically staying above 1.560, then the expectation will be further decline, and the further decline will be a complete break of our structure here, and it will be a very, very bearish move for Vechain's price action. So the market's been trying quite aggressively to try to price in everything that's going on with the Federal Reserve interest rate cuts, with inflation and etc. Now, we did see a bit of a bump in the market when we saw the CPI data for the US, and it's more positive than expected, and that's kind of fueled the idea that the Federal Reserve are likely to cut their interest rates even further, right? There's a high probability of it. Now, historically, when the Federal Reserve cut their interest rates or lower their interest rates, we see the stock market react negatively. And what we're witnessing so far is the kind of relief rally into that, right? So there's often this thing, we talk about it all the time, buy the rumor, sell the news. And that is essentially what's kind of going on here. Now, the problem that we have is there hasn't been a lot of buying activity for Vechain, which means if there's market gets spooked too much, existing holders might be completely fed up and start dumping their tokens as the price really kind of comes down quite aggressively. And as a result of that, we might not hold these lower levels. Now, we want to obviously hold the wick low coming in at 1.318. That's really where the danger zone is. If we come down lower than 1.3 2.18, it breaks our 5-wave structure to the upside. Wave 2 can technically go down and be a double bottom without any issues. It can double bottom there at 1.318 without any problems. If it doesn't, and it comes down lower, well, it breaks our structure, right? So everything so far is okay. We're in the kind of sweet spot for the wave 2, right? We've been talking about that. Essentially, good dollar cost averaging area, 1.56 to 2.698. This is the dollar cost average area. We've been talking about all these refined areas on our way down, and the next one that I can see here is 1.607 to 1.726, so another dollar cost averaging opportunity here. But for me, it looks like our kind of leverage traders are going to be looking for short positions. We'll be looking to short the market all around the kind of rejection of these areas of the 50 EMA, 50 SMA. And on the daily time frame, this one could be very, very lucrative with a move down into these lower ranges at around 5.58 risk reward ratio. And of course, if I am to be trading like this, I'm going to be trading on BitGet and Blowfin. They're my go-to platforms. Blowfin has some fantastic sign-up bonuses as well right now, and some fantastic campaigns for new users. So do go ahead and check the links in the description down below and check out those fantastic offers. But yeah, for the most part, that's going to be the expectation. It doesn't look strong to me. Our momentum is also not in the best position. You can see it's overbought on the daily, the 8-hour, the 4-hour. Don't get me wrong, we might see some more volatility and some more positivity on the smaller time frames, like the 1-hour time frame, but on the daily time frame, it's not in the best position. Our a relative strength index here is also getting rejected on the 50 level. And when you're lower than 50, you're bearish. And when you're above 50, you're bullish. So at the moment, also not a strong indication of where Vechain's price action is heading as well. You can see that this is a downward trend on the relative strength index as well. If we turn that off and bring in the volume profiles and bring up the price action here, you can see that basically as we've kind of seen this push to the upside, volumes are not that strong. They're actually lower than they were when we saw the selling pressure. So overall, we are in a bit of a danger zone when it comes to Vechain's price action. There doesn't seem to be a lot of trading activity on the buying or the selling. You can really see that across the months here. As we were in early 2024, we saw higher volumes than we are seeing right now. So the market just isn't very active when it comes to Vechain's VET token, and that's also going to be problematic for the price. So ultimately, we've just not seen the momentum that we needed to. We haven't been able to push up towards the 200-day EMA as we were hoping, and instead our bearish structure now tells us that we have the higher probability of moving down towards 1.6 to 1.7. If we take a look at our smart money concepts here, we are in a bearish structure as well. You can see that right here. You can see that there's a pocket of selling pressure right in that higher swing that we saw on the 24th of August. You can see here that we have a weak low, and equilibrium is way, way higher than it needs to be. So essentially indicating that this thing is incredibly bearish right now, way, way more bearish than many other cryptocurrencies, unfortunately. So we have strong high sat all the way up at 5.5 cents, weak low all the way down there at 1.89 cents, which we're obviously a lot more closer to. So unfortunately, yeah, it doesn't look like this is going to end well for Vechain in the coming weeks, in my opinion. So very, very frustrating times, but nonetheless, I'm confident in the bigger macro picture, provided that we hold 1.318. I'm confident that we're going to see a good run to the upside, but just brace yourself, guys, because it's going to get pretty brutal for current holders, but it's going to present itself with some huge opportunities for those investors looking to build their positions in Vechain's VET token. Now, you guys can let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Join us in our free Discord server linked in the description, and we can continue the conversations down there. And if you haven't done so already, guys, check this video out right here. It's not one you're going to want to miss.